I might ruffle some feathers with this one, but I want to talk about a very important concept, which is an excuse versus a reason as to why your studying didn't end up happening. So I do understand there are lots of situations where it is very legitimate that you prioritize this other thing over your studying at that moment. But here's the thing. When a reason why something didn't happen starts to become a chronic excuse as to why you're not doing it, that's when it becomes problematic. Like, for example, family member ends up in the hospital. Yes, of course, if you had a family member that had a heart attack, yeah, you're going to go to the hospital instead of studying because you want to make sure they're okay. Like, that makes sense. But here's the thing, guys. A lot of people end up using, their kids as an excuse, or they're trying to use, other family members as an excuse, or their job, or just life, or this fact that they can't find time to get this done. Here's the thing, guys. If you're chronically utilizing the same reason as to why you're not studying, that is when it becomes an excuse. Okay, that is when you've trained your brain to say, doing this other thing is going to be more important than studying. And you've convinced yourself in that in your mind. So the important thing is to identify that and break it. So like, for example, with me, my problem was I was, spending a lot of time playing video games and stuff like that. Or I was going out drinking with friends. And I realized that, me being hungover in the morning was the reason why I couldn't go study, or was the reason why I couldn't get something done. And I was realizing, maybe I need to change something so then that isn't happening anymore. Because it makes sense. Like literally it makes sense. I was unable to study because I was puking my guts out. Duh. But here's the thing. How long am I going to give that power over myself? What can I do to put myself in a better situation where I don't have to constantly use this reason as an excuse? And I know with some certain situations it's harder than others. Like if you're like, I chronically end up scrolling TikTok. Yeah, we can obviously fix that by deleting TikTok. Boom. Now we've eliminated the distraction. However, guys, the important thing is you got to think about how you're talking to yourself in your mind. Are you continually using this thing that you're struggling with as your excuse to not study? Or are you able to flip something in your mind to make that, even some people who have the excuse of their children as to why they're not studying, flip that, make that your reason why you're studying? I want to give my kids a good example. I have kids, so therefore I need to make sure I'm studying and making sure I'm able to do what needs to be done. And I know there's a lot of nuances to this situation, but I just want everybody to take the message that I'm saying and think about it critically. What can you change in your life to stop giving that excuse power over your life? What habits do you need to change? Are you constantly blaming other people for your problems? Are you blaming your professors for not teaching you everything? What are you doing that is putting you under that excuse victim mindset? And what do you need to change to bring yourself to, I'm going to make sure I'm doing what needs to be done to study? Obviously, things will go wrong. We can't control life. Life is crazy, but I just want you guys to kind of reflect on this. Because when it starts becoming a chronic reason why you're not doing something, that's becoming an excuse. Okay? And if you're constantly looking for something going on in your life to basically use as a reason why you couldn't study that day, that just basically says that you're afraid. And you're scared and you have test-taking anxiety. And that's your real problem. So let's address it. And again, all that means is that there's, when you realize you're using something as an excuse, that just means there's a deficit somewhere that we need to fix. Here's the thing, guys. Everything I'm telling you are things that I had to learn and tell myself, okay? I had to get real with myself about a lot of things that were going wrong in my life. I had the victim mindset. I was blaming other people for my problems when I realized that I needed to show up and take accountability for the things I can't control. There are things in your life that you can't control. We understand that happens. Things go on. You're going to have to find and take power over all the things that you can control. So I hope that this was helpful, guys. And I know there's a lot of nuance to this video, but I know it was long, but I really just wanted to make sure you guys can identify what's an excuse and what's going to be a reason why you guys should study and do well. Write down your reason. Why did you want to become a PTA? That's what I always use as my motivation for anytime I'm struggling with stuff.